Looking for clarity and confidence when it comes to decision making for your business? You've come to the right place. You're now listening to the Atomic Business Coaching Podcast.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Tom.
And together we are Atomic Business Coaching,
where our stories are your solutions.
What's up, Tom?
What's up, Adam? How are you?
Good. I feel like I just saw you.
I know, we just did. That's the fun of this, is that we get to record multiple episodes at once sometimes.
I know. Wow, we were going to end, but then we're like, sometimes you get in the groove, and you're like, why not? Let's just keep going, right?
Exactly. And that's the fun part, right? And that's an experience that a lot of people have, right? You're either in a groove and you just want to keep going, and that's what I really call flow, right? That's what we all call flow. And when you're in flow, everything is timeless. You just keep going. And it's really, your attention is in a great place. And then there's times that you struggle and you just have to break stuff up. And you got to partition it out and section it off and get to it in different spaces. And I think it's really cool that, sometimes we're in perfect flow and sometimes we're not. And that's just the way things are sometimes.
I got to tell you, that's been some of my clients and even my own biggest obstacle recently is staying in flow, staying focused.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know, some people might see this, some people might be watching. For those of you who are not, I'm showing on the screen here, there's a little timer that you can go ahead and change the time and set it, and it'll go off. And I've had to do that to stay more focused and just to be on task with certain things, because I look down and all of a sudden I'm 3 hours into something that should have taken me an hour.
Right.
So how do you deal with, or how do you advise people for focus, and what do you do with it yourself?
Well, it really comes down to, people get caught up in this idea of time management, right? Time management. We hear time management over and over. Time management. You have to manage your time. You have to manage your time. You got to manage your time. Now, you got to manage your attention. You have to be managing that attention. It's all about attention management. And Moran Thomas wrote these great books on attention management and how to change your attention to get into flow and not be as distracted. And when we're in flow, the control over our attention is much less because we're in flow. We don't struggle to control our attention. And there's certain places that we really struggle to control our attention. And I tell people, stop worrying about time management, focus on attention management, and do it in spurts. Do it in 30-minute intervals, right? You could get probably a ton done in 30 minutes of uninterrupted work than trying to spend an hour and a half, and you got your email open and you got other stuff that's distracting, and you got your phone sending you push notifications and all of that stuff. And if you just eliminate those distractions, and pay attention to what you're doing in a very concise time, you're actually going to be more productive.
So it's interesting. You're talking about more on the distraction side, and I'm talking more about being in the zone too long. So there's many different ways that you can not have quote unquote time management. Right. I'm bad with the other side of it. It's like it's tough for me to get started on certain tasks. Usually because it's not something that's a passion. It's something that's a necessity that has to get done. And it's like, all right, I'll get to it. And I know when I get to it, I can kill it and crush it. Right. But then the other side is those things that I am in love with doing. I'm in love with speaking to clients. I spoke to a client the other night for 2.5 hours. That was an hour scheduled meeting. But I was like in the zone. But if I would have set my little timer to, go off in an hour's time, I could have, without being so rude to the clients, or I could have been like, hey, the timer's up. We got, I'll give you another 10 minutes, not another, 90 minutes.
That's a lot of extra time there, Adam.
It is. It was a necessity for these people.
Of course.
And it's funny. These clients, they have some management issues at the current moment. And it's, this client, without naming names, which we never will do here, everything is confidential that we do. But this person is having a difficult time separating what their personal time is and their business time and their family time. And we really had to put in a process, like I'm talking about this little timer that I have. I think I paid $10 for. We got to start a store, Tommy.
That's what we got to do.
I mean, we might as well at least direct them to where it is. So maybe we'll have our podcast guy, Rich. We'll have Rich put what do you call it? A link to the show in the show notes.
Yeah,
to this.
like an affiliate link. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Whatever it is, even if it's just to direct them where it is, but tools are good. And this tool that Tom and I came up with, it's not a tangible tool. We turned it into one, but it's something that people can use, and it's nothing we sell or anything like that. But why don't you talk about like what we came up with dealing with that separating?
Yeah, the initial thing was actually creating. People struggle with putting things into place in their lives without a visual, right? And I like to be very visual. So we came up with this idea of buckets, right? And you and I were talking about, if we have a bucket for personal time, for business time, for family time, and what was the last one that we said before?
It was those
that
three.
was it, right? Those 3 buckets, right? And if you have those 3 buckets and you can see them, and you can take either like a marble or you could take some rocks, and each time during your week that you spend time with your family, or you spend time for yourself, or you spend time in your business or working on your business, you put a rock in for each hour, right? And if that in an 18 hours, right? Because we're giving everybody 18 hours, right? 18 hours, 6 hours to sleep. So if you have 18 rocks a day, you could start to visually see where you're spending your time. And what it will serve as a really good visual is where you're not spending enough time. That's going to be the obvious, right? Is I didn't spend enough time on me today, or I didn't spend enough time on my family. I spent way too much time in the business, or I spent way too much over here and I wasn't working on my business. But I think those visuals really help people to create better boundaries for themselves and understand, because people get overwhelmed and like something that maybe they think is going to take them 2 hours only takes them a half hour.
Right.
And then if they spend that, if they put it in there as that half hour or that hour, they're going to realize they have more time than they already realized. And I think that's the big thing that we want people to recognize, is that you do have the time to do all of these things.
Yeah, that's always the biggest thing, is when someone says I don't have the time to do it, it's usually just an excuse.
Correct.
You know, it's an excuse that they need to get down to the absolute core of what are you really telling me here? It's not that you don't have the time; it's that you don't care about this, or you're scared. You don't know how to do this, or
right, and you're procrastinating.
Really worried that you might be successful, or you're really worried that you might. You know, that's what a lot of people do. But these tools and these tactics and these things that you can use, it's more about, like you said, the visualization and process. But if you have a process and this person's going to put their rocks, their marbles in a bucket every time, it's about them being consistent, right? Tom and I didn't give them, okay, well, you have to spend, 6 hours on family and 6 hours on personal and 6 hours on business, and there you go. And it's like, no. The exercise is to consistently be aware of where you're spending your time. You didn't have to fix anything. You didn't have to change anything. You just had to start becoming aware.
Right.
And one of the big things that Tom and I do with our clients is bring awareness to what's right in front of their face. And there's a cliche that says it's hard to see the forest through the trees. Right? So when we step back and take a 30,000-foot view of what's going on in your life and ask the right questions and start giving you little things to think about or to do or to reflect on, it's the awareness that brings the success to anyone's life. Now, it might be short-term success if you don't take the action required in order to overcome it or fulfill whatever you just became aware about, right?
Right. Absolutely. And awareness is, you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, this journey, anytime you work with a coach is really about creating that awareness to the things in your life that you don't have the specific awareness to, and you just can't see your way out of, right? And that's what people really struggle the most with is gaining the clarity around what it is that they're trying to do. And I think the visual will also serve, and you'll see this over time if you look at the trends that happen. There's going to be times in your life where you have to spend more time on your family, or there's times you're going to have to spend more time in your business. Like you're going on vacation next week. You've got to be in business mode the majority of this week, because next week you're going to be with your family or you're going to be doing something for you.
I'm going golfing, Tom.
That's right. I know. I forgot. You're going by yourself, Adam. You're taking the time for you. But that's the point.
But here's the discipline part. So I'm going to Palm Springs to play in a golf tournament. Right? I live in New York, Long Island, New York. I'm going to Palm Springs playing a golf tournament. It's unbelievable time. Super excited. The week after that, when I come back, my parents are flying up to stay with us to see the grandkids for 3 days. So my kids are going to get to see Grandma and Grandpa. The week after that, I'm bringing my wife, my family, and other people down to my place in Playa Mujeres, Mexico. So beautiful place on the beach. We'll spend a whole week. So that's 3 weeks out of October that I'm doing stuff for Adam, stuff for family, and stuff for my children.
Absolutely.
So that doesn't leave much time for the business, does it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But
well, that's because I have systems and processes,
right.
And I put in all the discipline in order to make sure that someone else is going to handle it.
Right. And that's what, that is a part of establishing good boundaries, is also having good systems to support what you're doing. Right. I mean, that's huge. When you don't have a system in place, what would you be doing? You'd be running around like a chicken without a head. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't be able to get anything done. But you work so hard all year round to take these times is necessary. And it's stuff that you have to do, but you have to have the systems that support that. That's so true.
Yeah, and it gives you something to strive after too. Like we were saying earlier, it pushes you through to get some things done, but it also gives you this unbelievable thing to look forward to and to be grateful for. So you can look forward to it when it's planned out. And I try to make all my clients every 90 days have a vacation. That's right. If you're listening, every 90 days you should have a vacation. No questions asked. I'm not telling you to go to Palm Springs and play golf. I don't care if it's I'm going to spend the week at my house in my own backyard of something I've already paid for and just wear pajamas all week long. That could be a vacation. It doesn't cost anything, but you need to detach from everything else every 90 days. Ideally, I'd like you to become so successful so you could do whatever you want. But in the interim, every 90 days, you need to detach. Yeah. And we have 52 weeks a year. If you break it down by quarter, we have 13. You spend 12 weeks working, 1 week relaxing. At the end of that week, building out your plan for the next 12 weeks. It's kind of simple stuff. Right? So you have to have the ability to say, I'm going to step away and go do that thing. Like there's almost no ability not to, because you will break down and fail if you don't have that time away. Does that make sense?
It makes a ton of sense. And it's so necessary it's one of the things that will prevent you from burning yourself out, is taking that time away, taking that time for you, taking that time for your family, to break away from the humdrum, the mundane of your everyday life, because you want to keep it fresh, right? When we come back from vacation, we're revitalized. We have that energy. We're adrenalized, right, Adam? I mean, I talk about that all the time. Yeah. Like being adrenalized, part of that is making the time so that when you come back from it, you're reigniting a flame for yourself, and you're thrust back into, and you reinvigorate the passion that you have, because it's so easy to lose your passion at times if you're not taking the time away, taking that time off every 90 days. And I think that's brilliant. And I agree with you 100%. You need that every 90 days. You need to take that time.
Yeah. And listen, so think about all the things that does for you. Like we said, is it gives you something to look forward to, right? It gives you the ability to detach and relax and not burn out. And then it gives you something to be grateful for when you come back, right? There's a lot that happens in that moment. And my favorite part is the second I come back, I'm so grateful, and I plan the next one. And it's like, okay, now I have to look forward to this for the next 90 days. So every time I'm sitting in the middle of it, my head's down, it really sucks. Like, I don't want to do what I'm about to do. I can be like, all right, I got 77 more days until I go do that thing. And it's like, all right, I'll get that done. And
that 98 days flies.
Well, yeah, I mean, they fly by super quick. I told our mastermind group the other day, I told them a great quote, which was that the days are long, but the years are short. Mm-hmm. So they fly. Yeah. Those 90 days, they fly by. But you look up and you're like, fourth quarter. Here we are.
Right.
And it's just like it goes by quick. So if you're not going to step back, relax, enjoy it a little bit, then what the hell is the point of all this?
Exactly. I mean, you got to live life here, people. You got to live life. I mean, there's no the only point of life is not just, to just go through the motions. The point of life is to live it to its fullest, to be the best version of yourself, to work hard, to achieve, to be successful the way you decide to be the successful that you want. And it really is something that if you're not enjoying it, then why do it?
Yeah. So what are you going to enjoy about your fourth quarter? We're in the fourth quarter. Anyone who's listening to this, we're in the fourth quarter beginning. Today's the first Monday of the fourth quarter of 2022. So Tom, what are you going to enjoy in your fourth quarter this year?
I'm going to enjoy getting ready for the new year. Getting ready to launch, you and I work together. We're going to talk about some new programming, some new things that we can offer people. I'm really excited I'm still writing my second book, so I'm really excited to get that finished. I have all of those exciting things happening, and I'm just excited for what this next year is going to bring. And I think the preparation in this quarter is going to be so critical to that success and being able to do it as we move forward into 2023. Because when 2023 comes at him, you and I rocking and rolling, this is going to be so much fun. And, I'm excited for what's up ahead for both of us.
Yeah, me too, pal. Yeah, it's I spent many years now. I think this is it just was my third year building a networking group out for small businesses in Long Island. And Tom and I, have grown our relationship. We didn't meet there, but we grew our relationship through that. And we do something there called Connect, Collab, and Grow. And this is brand new. I haven't rolled it out, but I'm so excited to share with so many other people like how this connecting and then collaborating and growing together really works. And this company that Tom and I have built, Atomic Business Coaching, has come through that system, which wasn't a system. It was not some plan we followed or some course we took or anything else. But now I'm creating it with that, and it's because I think it can help so many people. And this is what Tom and I have really done. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, to roll it out. But I got to tell you, I had this click the other day, and I'm starting to eliminate. And that's what I'm most excited about. Eliminating things, because I have a lot of businesses and a lot of tasks and a lot of nonsense. I mean, I shaved my head on the first day of my kid's school year. So I'm starting to eliminate. And that is what I'm most excited about. So I can focus more and do better work and spend better quality time and be more present in the things that I'm doing. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And being present is so important. It is life-changing when we're present, and eliminating the things that don't belong there anymore. I always tell people, when you make your to-do list, it's the ABCDE, and when I get to E, I'm like, what are you eliminating? What are you eliminating from your to-do list? Cool. What's that elimination?
Say it again?
So Brian Tracy. It's from Brian Tracy's book, Eat That Frog. I don't know if you ever read that book. It's a great book. I highly recommend it for people who have difficulty procrastinating. But he talks about A, B, C, D, and E when you're prioritizing things and you're putting your list together. Go to your to-do list and label the A's, right? So the A's are the things that absolutely have to get done today, or tomorrow there's catastrophic events, right? B are the things that should get done today, but if they don't get done today and they can get done tomorrow, that's fine. Make it a B, right? Then your C's are your nice to-dos. Oh, it'd be nice to do this today. It would be nice to have this done this week. But really, ultimately, nice to-dos never, ever really become that A or B, right? And then the D's, what can I delegate? Right? What from my list can I delegate to somebody else? And then he gets to the E's and he says, what are you eliminating from those? What are you eliminating from your list? Because if you make a to-do list of 10 to 20 things, there's really only 4 or 5 things that you really have to do. And those are your A's and your B's. Everything else you could either give to somebody else, would be nice to do, or you just don't need to do it all. And when people use that process, they see that they really become more prioritized. It's deciding what to procrastinate on. That's the whole topic, right? Procrastinate on the right things, he says. So procrastinate on the right things is all of those things that are nice to do's and things that should be delegated, and the things that really don't make a big difference in your life and really don't take up a lot of your time. Right. But when we prioritize what must be done, that's why I tell people all the time, pick the 3 priorities for the day. What are your 3 priorities? What are those 3 things that must happen today so that you can put your head on your pillow tonight? And that's where you need to be focused.
Yeah. And listen, that's the biggest thing when, who we're working with are these newer business owners or people who just went from a corporate world and they're like, I really want to figure out how to start my own business, or someone that has generated some revenue on a side hustle and like, I think I could do this. Is these things that Tom and I are talking about, these stories that we're sharing of either things we've went through or we've helped our clients go through, is you don't need to be alone. Right? You don't have to be alone and going through building your business. And that's really what we're here for. Tom and I have been a support system for each other for quite some time now. We have our own mentors and coaches, and we read books like he just said. Even that one, can't see it if you're listening, but Who Not How. Tom recommended that to me, and I actually created a whole book club about it. So we have all this great experience, and we have these amazing stories that we're sharing that hopefully are your solutions. But the real thing is, whether you come and you work with us at Atomic Business Coaching and you hire us, or you're just going to listen to this podcast, the idea is you don't need to be alone, right? We can help walk you through this. You can listen to the stories of other people and be like, oh my goodness, like that's the exact same thing I'm dealing with. I'm not alone. I'm not crazy.
Right.
And hopefully there's some solutions inside of here that you can walk away, or tactics or books or systems, ABCDE. I love it. I love the eliminate part, Tom. So that's really what we're here for. That's what we're trying to do, is be there for other business owners.
And it's really, you're right. You're not alone out there. So many people feel like, oh, I'm running my own business. I have to do this myself. And they get stuck in that, how am I going to do all this? And that's why we recommend that book, Who Not How, because it's not about you doing everything in your business. It's who is going to help you to do that. And Adam and I become that support for a lot of people. We become that who that helps with strategy, that helps with direction, that helps with self-care and mindset. And that's what this is all about. And that's why we're doing what we do, because at the end of the day, our success is your success. It's how well you do, and watching you do that well that makes all the difference. And that's just I just love what we get to do, Adam. It's just, we have so much fun doing it, and we're making such a big difference for so many people because they had the courage to ask, I need your help.
Yep. But you bring up another point there. It's, there are so many people that want to accomplish it on their own, and there's a certain ego that comes into play. And I gotta tell you, of everything I've done, the things I've done by myself and on my own were not as successful as when I did them with other people or learned from other people. I mean, quite honestly, almost everything that has been accomplished successfully has already been done. It's already been done. It's already been written about. You can learn about it. Like I've been in business for 23 years. Tom and I are both in our mid to late 40s, and like, we didn't have the luxury of YouTube.
Mid-40s. Be careful there.
Well, you're pushing it, man. You got another year.
I'm still mid-40s.
Yeah, I know, but next birthday, I'm gonna say I'm mid-40s and you're late 40s. It's gonna be great.
All right, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, Tom's
I got
like
a little
6 months older than me, so
yeah.
Literally, you're like 5 months older than me, so. Or maybe a year and 5 months older.
Year and 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 5 months.
See, it's all right.
So technically,
what's
it's going to be 2 years, just like my wife.
All right.
So,
you know what, man?
I love it.
I love it too.
I found the nerve. Anyone who's listening, we found the nerve. There it is.
There it is. Hit nerve number one. Because man, as you realize,
hey, write that down. Someone write that down.
It's so true, man. I feel like 46. I'm gonna be 46 in May, but I'm still 45. So it's all good. It's all good.
So my point. What was I saying now?
I don't remember.
Oh my gosh.
We were talking about. I can't remember at this point. All righty.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what it was, but you can't remember?
No, well, you were going in a direction, and what was hitting me was that when we asked for help, and one of the things that your connect, collaborate, and grow is so important, and it needs to be the fundamental. Anyone who's a business owner, If you're not going out there and you're trying to connect with other people and looking for ways to collaborate so that you have a circle, you have a sphere of trust around you and your business, you're never going to be able to grow that business. Right. And that's the direction. I mean, and you and I mean, we connected, we collaborate now, and we grow together. I mean, it's fantastic. But that's what was triggering for me as you were talking.
Yeah. I don't remember where it was, but yeah, the whole point of where the end of that conversation was is that you don't need to be alone. There is a tremendous amount of support. You know, if I thrive more from people, learning from the people who have already done it and steal their tactics, and that's what I was talking about, YouTube University. I said when we were younger, we didn't have YouTube University or anything else, and I really hope that the people that I'm either mentoring or come and train and coach underneath me and Tom, I really hope they have more success than me. I hope they do even better, and quite honestly, they should. They should, because they have more tools, they have more time, they're learning from other people, and that's what this is about. Is any of the successful things that myself and I know Tom have done have been about learning from some of the best in the world, getting some really good information, and then implementing that stuff. And that's really what we're trying to do here with our podcast, with Atomic Business Coaching, is provide people the information so they don't waste as much time, provide them the support so they can really be accountable for themselves. We just help them along that path, and then get things done in order to be the success that they've always wanted to be.
Absolutely.
Got back on track.
There you go. You the man. Always.
All right, pal.
All right, man. I think this was a good conversation. I hope, people, if it's hitting you, that's what we want. We want it to resonate with you. And remember, whether you listen to us all the time or you listen just this one time, if we can have an impact on you in some way and really get you to where you need to be, then that's what we're here to do. So, Adam, this is always a ton of fun, man.
Love it, pal. Have a good one.
All right, you too.